Hey there, folks. Happy Friday. I am actually still in my work shift, but I wanted to take a little break, so don't tell anybody. But I decided to just go for a walk because I was getting a little stir crazy. And before I ramble on, as I usually tend to do without any plan in mind, let me just show you where I am right now. It's a neat little park of some sort. It's connected to a school or a senior center or something. I'm not even sure. I've never seen this place in full swing before, but yeah, I'm just sitting amongst some rocks. But if I flip you over this way, you could see this really big old field, which is pretty cool. So I dig that a lot. Sorry, I'm swinging the phone around. I hope you can still hear me. But anyways, I'm gonna sit you back down right there on the rock with me. There you go. As per usual, I'm not totally sure where to begin with these videos because there's always a topic, never really a plan, so I'm kind of just going to go. I kind of lied at the beginning of this video. I said, oh, I was getting a little stir crazy at work. Not because there was a lot to do, because it was actually pretty tame, and when it's really quiet, then you're kind of just sitting there alone with your own thoughts, and that's a pretty dangerous place to be in, especially when you're in a 9 to 5. So we were kind of just sitting there. Granted, I shouldn't be complaining because I'm a hybrid schedule, so today I'm remote. That's why I'm able to walk so far away from my desk. But yeah, I was just sitting there just thinking a little bit about how the year's going. We're 2 months into 2025, which is wild, pretty insane. And I mentioned in my last video how a really big advent passed and that it's been 10 years since I've started writing and all of that. So a lot of big changes have been happening, and it's been great. But at the same time, you can't really shake the feeling that I'm still kind of alone in this path. You know what I mean? Here I am, after all this time, sitting on a rock with wearing my crazy glasses, talking to strangers on YouTube about not really, having a special set of people to be on this journey with. Like, yeah, I got a few friends and I got family who I see every blue moon, but for the most part, it's really just me. I mean, and that's a big achievement. I've learned to be independent, not need a whole lot of help. I do my shopping, wake up in the morning, do what I need to. I go to work, I come back, and yeah, I do my YouTube stuff, whatever it is I gotta do. And overall, I'm pretty content. I'm pretty happy with the way that things are going. Financially, I'm well off enough. I've got a very nice home, which I'm thanking my lucky stars I'm able to pay off. It's a little rinky-dink apartment, but I love it to death, so I'm really happy about that. But at the same time, as well-adjusted as I feel that I am right now, I still can't help but feel that I'm kind of lonely sometimes, It would be nice to have more friends. It would be nice to have a girlfriend, all that. And I don't think that way too often. It's like one of those thoughts that I kind of bury in the back of my mind so I can focus on the immediate things I need to do. But every now and then they just circle back around and they stick with you for a while. And it's hard to shake that off. So one of the things that I do, which I haven't been able to do for a while, is just go for an extended walk. And I can't really walk a whole lot these days because of the crazy-ass New England weather. Like, all the roads are so freaking frozen over. I find myself slipping, like, halfway across. Loneliness, I know it's not a unique thing. A lot of people suffer from that. And I think it has a lot to do with the generation that I'm part of, being in the digital age and all that. I've gone on about that before, so I won't kind of dwindle on that a whole ton here, but I think it's really because we're so focused on our computers, on our technology. I think that's a big part of it. I don't think that's it completely, but also the fact that it's just become a more distant world. I feel like, give it 50 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago, you had more of that neighborhood aspect, which I've seen other people have during my childhood, but I never really had much myself, where, everyone on your street, everybody at the school knows you, their families and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe that's always been a normal thing. I've just never really been a part of it. But part of me just wonders, maybe if I were more part of that zeitgeist, then maybe I'd have a better idea of how to connect with people, because these days it doesn't feel like that at all. These days it doesn't feel as isolated, as social, close parameters, if you will. These days it feels more like I need to make a concerted effort, if that's a word, to be social, to meet people, to be in the right place at the right time. And that's really challenging. I mean, instead of like being able to walk outside and know who everyone is, it's more of like trying to hide, burying your chin in your collar, being sure you're not seen because your neighbors are a little crazy. Uh, everyone's got their own agendas and stuff. You don't want to step on anyone's toes or anything. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a little bit too humble, trying to back off of people because I don't want to infringe on what they're trying to do. And maybe that's my fault. Maybe I should be a little bit more like, hey, how's your day going? But that's not so easy. That's something you really do got to learn, I feel like, at a very early age. And I guess I never really picked up on that. I probably should have. So these days, how do you be social? How do you make connections? Again, going back to the whole digital age thing, there's a paywall. You got to pay money, right? I don't drive, so already that's a big knock against me. We've already had that conversation, so I'm not going to do that again. But I can't just go to any place any time. But even if I did, there'd be all these car expenses and stuff like that, and I'm not in a place where I can do that. I got to pay off my apartment, so that's not really in the cards right now. I'm kind of hoping that if once I'm able to figure out this year's budget, I'll be able to Uber to different places and meet more people that way. Maybe tag along with my few friends a little bit more often, and that would be good. But that being said, aside from transit and all that, have you noticed there's usually a paywall to just getting to say hi to people? Like whether you're doing dating apps, you're doing speed dating, you are going to social events or stuff like that, you usually got to go online and figure out where people are meeting up. And I guess that's a neat thing that we have. But the fact that you always got to sign up for something, you usually got to pay for something. I've done all those things, by the way, and yielded basically no results. I don't know. It makes just getting out there a very alienating experience. The fact that you need to go through a computer just to organically meet people. Everything feels so synthesized, so factorial, if I could kind of put it that way. And it's a little deterring. It's disheartening to know that things are the way that they are like that. It sucks. And it sucks being alone in this age. I mean, the first thing you got to do out of the gate once you graduated college, again, I graduated 3+ years ago, is, figure out where you're going to live, what your income is, what's your rent going to be, create a spreadsheet so you know how to use your money and all of that. So that's all very important for setting yourself up. But you realize after a while, once you start to get those things down, it's a journey that's not as interesting if you don't have somebody to take along with you, or several people even. I learned all these important life lessons just in the past several years, and had all these experiences as I've gone out to nature and things like that. And how much better could that have been if I'd had somebody with me to go on that journey? Just to talk with them, and not talking to a camera. I mean, I love doing this, don't get me wrong, but just to talk to somebody about, wow, check out the trees and how interesting that is, or the way that the snow is just frosted over. Just little stupid observations like that don't really mean much. It's just small talk, chit chat. I've never been good at chit-chat. I've always been so much on the big ideas and the abstract concepts. And maybe, I don't know, that's my fault. Maybe that's what's perhaps scared people away. I've always kind of wondered about that. Because, again, being an Aspie, we're shit at small talk. We're not good at that, typically. So, because we're so hyper-fixated on the bigger, bolder, more intimidating concepts, whether they be things that everyone knows, they just don't really talk about, or they're so abstract and unique, nobody else knows about it. For example, my writing. I love my writing, the characters that I've been developing for 10 years. And I can't really talk to anyone about that for two reasons. First of all, it's a unique thing. It's exclusive to me. No one else knows about it. It's not a movie. It's not a book. I've never been published, so no one knows about any of that. But second, the few people who I do know, no one really asks me about it. I find that in order for people to really know me, I have to solicit myself and, be more outspoken. And I guess it's kind of the next step I need to take. I need to be more willing to say, hey, here's something that I'm working on, and check it out. You might find it pretty cool. And maybe that's something I don't do enough. Maybe, again, because I'm afraid of just infringing on other people and what they're doing in a moment, what they're focusing on. And maybe I can afford to be a little more selfish if it means creating more connections. So I guess that might be part of the equation. You need to be a little bit more about yourself, be a little bit more outward, in order for that bridge to be built between different parties, if you get what I mean. So how do I deal with my loneliness? I mean, if I'm to posit a solution to this big problem, well, first thing I do is change up my routine. If I'm ever feeling lonely or anything like that, that usually means I need to be doing something different. I was sitting at my computer today, nothing was really coming in, so I decided, all right, you know what, I'm just going to go for a little walk, and I'm here doing a video. And that alone is breaking things up, and that's very important. So, first thing I could recommend to you, if you're in my position, especially in my generation, go outside. Just walk. You don't have to do anything. Don't even have to talk to anybody. You can just go to go. You don't have to spend a penny either. You can just go for a walk. Go to somewhere you've never been before. There was a time where I've never been to this park before. I went for a walk randomly, and now I'm here. Not too sure what I'm doing, but this is one of my locales now, so here we are. The second thing I could recommend is, focus on your hobbies. I'm a big writer and everything, so I mean, that's not for everybody, obviously. That can be very painstaking. But, focus on a project, find yourself a hobby. There's tons of things you can be doing. It doesn't always have to have a price point on it either. It could be simply playing a video game. Just do something that changes your situation. I mean, it's 2 in 1 category. Go for a walk or focus on a hobby. That's the biggest thing to do. Third thing to do, if life is treating you right, go to a new place where you do need to kind of pay money to get into. Like, I've been frequenting a local coffee shop like every weekend where I can do my writing, be in a more social environment. But then again, kind of my Achilles heel is I love writing, but while I'm writing, I can't be talking to anyone, so it kind of defeats its own purpose. So that kind of backfires on itself. At the same time, you kind of see what I'm saying. I have these methods, but at the same time, they might have been backfiring. So I need to find that balance a little bit better. And I think the most important thing to remember in all this is that you're not the only lonely person. I'm not the only lonely person. It's just kind of a paradox, and I have all these people who want to meet people, but they can't find each other. And why is that? That's a big question. That's the quagmire. That's the big, ugly swamp that we're trudging through right now. A lot of us, I suspect. Why do I say I suspect? It's because you can't know that these people are out there because they're too shy to talk. Like, I've been too shy to talk. That's why I kind of started this channel. I'm not expecting to get anything back. I'm just expecting to put something out there so people know you're not alone in these weird situations I bring up every blue moon on this channel. So, yeah, that's kind of all I got. It's just, life is tough. I'm surviving. I'm doing well, living well and all that. But I want to add more to it, and I'm not sure how to do that. Like, I've got certain methods to keep myself upright, but if I could improve that process so it's more meaningful by having other people on that journey, then that would make things worth it. Like, again, more friends, that'd be great. Especially friends who are more curious about me, and it's more of a reciprocation in the conversation. A girlfriend would mean everything. I never found myself to be particularly unattractive or anything like that. I think I look fine. I've never been too bothered by that. And I think I'm good in conversations. Maybe I frighten people away by the certain topics I talk about. Nothing like blasphemous or anything like that. Just, again, I always focus on the big concepts, and most people aren't ready to do that. So that might scare people to shy away from me. I don't know. But yeah, if I could just find that one person, that would really change everything. I don't know how to do that. So I just got to keep throwing spaghetti at the wall until something sticks. If the spaghetti's not sticking, then maybe gotta switch to macaroni. Let me know what you think.